You've seen submarines in movies, but which country was the very first to use one in combat? This story unfolds in the Revolutionary War, years before modern vessels existed. It's a moment that pushed naval warfare into entirely new territory. In 1775, an American inventor named David Bushnell built the Turtle, a one-man wooden submersible designed to attach explosives to British ships. It was the world's first submarine used in combat, even if it didn't succeed. On the night of September 7, 1776, the Turtle approached HMS Eagle in New York Harbor. The operator, Sergeant Ezra Lee, almost attached the mine before his drill failed. The explosion happened but harmlessly at a distance. Despite its lack of success, the Turtle marked a turning point. It proved that submarines could be used in warfare. Its creator received praise from George Washington, who called the idea an effort of genius. The Turtle's failure wasn't egregious. It fueled more innovation. Bushnell went on to develop contact mines that drifted downriver. In January 1778, one detonated near enemy ships. In Philadelphia, these efforts laid the groundwork for future undersea combat. A simple wooden craft demonstrated to the world that beneath the waves lay the next frontier in warfare. Fast forward to the American Civil War, another dramatic leap in submarine use. In 1864, a Confederate vessel named the H.L. Hunley sank an enemy ship and became the first submarine to do so successfully. On February 17, 1864, the Hunley attacked USS Housatonic in Charleston Harbor. Driving a spar torpedo into its hull, the Hunley sank the vessel, making history in combat. Tragically, the Hunley and its 8-man crew vanished shortly after the attack. That victory came at the highest price and added to the eerie legend of this pioneering vessel. The Hunley remained lost for over 130 years. In 1995, it was finally located under silt off the coast of Charleston. Then, in August 2000, it was raised and placed into a conservation lab in North Charleston's Warren Lash Center. Today, preservation efforts reveal much about its final moments. Researchers even used science to explore why the crew didn't escape. One theory suggests a shockwave from the torpedo killed them instantly, a grim consequence of that pioneering mission. So we have the major milestones. Turtle's first combat use in 1776, but unsuccessful, and Hunley's successful sinking in 1864. Each changed submarine warfare in a big way. Turtle showed the concept. Hunley showed lethal potential. These milestones shaped naval strategy for the next century. From hidden wooden vessels to real submersible ships, naval powers realized underwater craft could alter how wars were fought, if you were brave enough to risk it. Other early attempts include the semi-submersible CSS David, which attacked USS New Ironsides in 1863. It came close to sinking the Union ironclad but failed. Though largely forgotten, CSS David was one of the earliest submarine-style attacks and proved that more would follow. These early craft were experimental and dangerous, but they signaled that hidden threats below the waves were becoming real. By World War I, submarines were fully weaponized. Germany's U-boats turned submarine warfare into a strategic nightmare. For the Allies, they sank over 5,000 ships, more than 12 million tons, ravaging Allied supply lines and forcing new tactics like convoys and sonar. The era of hidden underwater attack wasn't a novelty anymore, it was a deadly global game changer. That attack on HMS Pathfinder in 1914 ended its service in minutes. It was proof that submarines were fast, silent, and lethal. Soon after, the SMU-9 sank 3 cruisers in less than an hour, a staggering, brutal display of undersea power. The shift was complete. Submarines were no longer a curiosity. They were harbingers of terror for surface fleets. World War II brought submarine warfare to new ferocity. German wolf packs attacked convoys across the Atlantic, crippling Allied logistics. The second happy time in 1940 saw U-boats attack ships near the US East Coast. With devastating effect, these waves of destruction forced the Allies to develop sonar-equipped escorts and air patrols to counter unseen threats. Breaking the German Enigma code was a turning point. Navy intelligence could now track U-boat movements before attacks. Combined with their power and convoy coordination, the Allies turned the tide, and submarines became vulnerable, not invincible. Still, by then, U-boats had sunk hundreds more ships, proving their role as fearsome weapons of modern war. Post-war, submarines evolved with nuclear power, far longer endurance, stealth, and even missile capabilities. These are no longer lone combat vessels. They're platforms for deterrence, reconnaissance, and global strategy. The first trembling steps with Turtle and Hunley led to today's tech undersea giants patrolling silently beneath waves. If you glance back, it's clear Turtle was first to fight, Hunley was first to win. Both shaped what came next, from failed underground drills to spar torpedoes. Each step defined a new chapter. Sometimes, innovation comes wrapped in failure or cost, but it always opens new paths. What's the real answer to which country first used a submarine in war? The short answer, America, with Turtle in 1776. But if you want the first success, the first actual sinking that was one of America's own again, the Confederate Hunley in 1864. So in both cases, the answer traces back to America, but in different ways. Concept first, success later. Those early submarines were risky experiments that pushed boundaries. They weren't safe or pretty, but they were bold. They changed Navy thinking from building more ships to questioning if hiding beneath was smarter. Every modern submarine owes its legacy to that awkward Turtle and that final, tragic dive of the Hunley. Next time you think of submarines, remember, innovation didn't start with steel giants. It started with a wooden egg and a desperate idea. The first country to use a submarine in war, America. Turtle first tried it in 1776, America again, with success in 1864. These milestones gave the world submarines and changed naval warfare forever.